All right. So, self-talk. How do we talk to ourselves? Do we say positive things to ourselves? Do we tell ourselves that we are good enough, valuable enough, we can do this, we got this? How are we talking to ourselves? Are we saying it in a negative context? We all have negative thoughts naturally. It happens. Nobody's perfect. We're gonna from time to time. But there's a thought process of switching that thought, recognizing it and switching it. So not getting hung up on that. I can't do this. This is too much. I can't handle this. You know what I mean? And switching it with, I got this. I can do this. And starting your day that way, with a good motivational self-talk. I'm guilty of all of this. And I kind of want to do this with you because it also helps me. So my goal in doing these episodes is to help people grow. I do a lot of readings for people, and I notice there's a lot of, even just in the comments on my channel, like it's everywhere. I just feel like there's a lot of us that need to value ourselves and love ourselves and know our value, know our worth. And it starts with you. I'm gonna do another segment on codependency and things like that, but it starts with you. You make the change. You can close out cycles. You can close things out. You can release things. It takes strength to do it. It takes positive reinforcements on your part. Yeah, you have terrible anxiety. Yeah, need to get better. Negative self-talk. Yeah. So it's almost like when you wake up every day, just say something to yourself. And I'm going to go over a little bit more. You have to know what you want, though. You know what I mean? You have to know what either like your triggers are, or what you're fed up with, or what you want changed or to see change. You have to do a little reflecting. There is a lot of power in sitting in silence. So I know a lot of people can't really meditate, but if you go for a walk or a drive, listen to music, sit outside, take a bath, read a book, like anything that will clear the clutter in your thoughts. So that way you can actually think about what you really want. You have to be clear on it too. You can't just say, oh, I want $1 million. Like, you have to be clear, more clear on what you want, because there's a little exercise that you can do. So I feel like I'm kind of rambling all over the place. If you get a piece of paper and you write down, like, what is it that you want? One word, what do you want? I mean, it could be happiness, love, self-love, unconditional love, a new job, a career, success, health, wealth, like whatever that one word is that you really want to strive for right now. And take out a piece of paper, write the word. So health, let's just say, put health up top, and then write down all the little things like eating healthier, exercising 4 times a week, or starting off with going for walks 2 times a week, and then joining a gym, staying away from sugar and candy, and make a list of what that one word means to you. So that way when you're manifesting, you just say that one word. You don't say all this other stuff and think about, like, I want to be healthier, so I need to join the gym, and I need to go to the grocery store, and I need to buy better food, and I need to throw all this stuff away, and I need to cook better. I need to look up recipes. It can get overwhelming, and then it's discouraging, right? So write that down, and then when you say that word to yourself every day, that whole list goes with it. It just goes with it when you're manifesting, so you don't have to make it overwhelming. However, manifesting, yes, it does take action steps. So yes, you will have to go to the grocery store and buy better food. You may have to throw out stuffed treats that are hanging around your house. This is just if you want to lose weight or get healthier. I mean, if you want success, changing a job, a career, what does that consist of? And make that list. but hang on to that keyword, that one word. And then you have to visualize it. So sitting in silence or going for a walk, picture yourself with it, doing it, having it, being it. Visualization helps also with sitting in silence. It's easier to visualize. When you're waking up in the morning between snoozes, think about it then. When you're going to bed at night, think about it then. Whenever you have quiet time or a free minute to do it, make sure you do it. All right, make that like a priority. Actions. So action steps are like the most important thing in order for manifestations. So make sure you make a list. I'm big on lists, you guys. Make a list of the action steps you need to do, and you don't have to do them all at once. Just check them off your list. Do the hard ones first. You know what I mean? Do the hard ones first and get it out of your way, off your plate. All right. Hi, Marie. Hi, Patricia. Yes, visualize. Very important. Yeah, Jen, health issues. You're making it through, though. You're a trooper. You are a trooper. Oh, Marie, that's sweet. That's sweet. Hi, Lynn. Hi, Christine. You didn't miss much, just me rambling. All right. I'm going to play a clip. I'm going to probably stop it in between and talk, but I want to play this. So let's, I'm going to shrink myself here. I'm going to move this over here. All right. So you guys ever hear of The Secret? Oh, why is it doing that? Hold on. I may go blank for one quick second. Again, you guys, I said I'm still getting used to this, so give me a minute. All right. I'm still here. Okay. A lot of people probably have. So this is just a little clip of them talking about thoughts becoming things that I want to play for you. So let's do this. Let me know if the volume's too loud.
Deliberate thought of what you want, then law of attraction will employ the universe and all people, circumstances, and events to move you to what you've asked for and to move what you've asked for to you. And so if you think about that, there is just action would be really, really hard for you to reach all of the people, circumstances, and events, manipulate all of them to receive what you want. And if you really reflect well on your life and things that have happened in your life, you'll kind of see that actually that happened for me. All I did was move to here, or all I did was move to there.
So that's a big part of this. Things, and I know it's cliche, you probably heard it before, it didn't happen to you, it happened for you. Things happen. There's such a bigger picture out there to everything, and I try to explain this in reading sometimes, and to people who will want to listen, but there's such a bigger picture. We all have lessons, we all have growth, we all have things that we're here to do and accomplish, and we have people, places, things that are catalysts for this. So I wouldn't be here right now doing what I do if things didn't happen to me in my life that created trauma, hard times, stressors. Doing the readings, I wouldn't be able to recognize certain traumas or certain things unless I experienced it. You know what I mean? So everything does lead you up to where you are. Everything happens for a reason. The hurt, the pain, the trauma, the happiness, you know, the healing, all of that. It's all tied in. All right.
And I received what I wanted. Thought creates all of the appearances in the world, and thought creates everything in your life. So it's pretty darn powerful, right? And what you think about is what you get, what you focus on is what will manifest in your life. And everyone is manifesting their day every single day. We're doing it. We are not aware, of course, necessarily of thoughts, but thoughts come, we energize them, and then they will manifest unless we cancel that thought out with another thought, with a thought that contradicts it. But I remember Lester Levinson would say, every single thought manifests. And I just thought that was incredible. I had known the secret for years and years.
So everything you think about manifests. But did you hear with the negative thinking how we all do it, and when you do that, you cancel it out with a positive thought. So I can't do this. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. And then you keep saying yes, I can. You know what I mean? And it overrides that negative thought.
Years and years. And Lester Levinson was a real master. And he said every single thought manifests. And I was just, wow, that's how powerful they are. So thoughts are your superpower. To be, do, and have what you want to experience and have and do in your life. And so if you ask an athlete, or if you talk to a coach, a really brilliant coach, right, of a sports team, then you will find that visualization and these principles that I'm talking about are a big part of their training. They have to be. They have to see themselves winning the game. They have to see themselves winning the match. There is a really incredible tennis player that's a very big fan, a champion tennis player that's a really big fan of The Secret, who uses The Secret. This is what he does. He sees that he has won the match before he walks out onto that court. And it's the same for teams. It's the same for athletes in the Olympic Games, running a race and seeing that they've won. Yes, they run the race, but what has them win the race is that they saw themselves winning before they even got on the starting block.
Visualization. You have to see it. You can't just say it. You have to see it. You have to visualize it. At least seeing what it would be like. You know what I mean? Sorry, I was just going to see if there was a comment I wanted to put up, but okay, let's continue on.
And they saw it and believed it and felt it, and so they just, everything lined up for them in the perfect way. They drew the perfect lane. Everybody else was moved in exactly the right position, and they got a really great start and they won the race. And so thought is just so powerful. So athletes, but also, do you know, the astronauts in the Apollo program did visualization before they went to the moon, and they visualized landing back on Earth safely. And so that's how important visualization is. Just thought in pictures, by the way. It's still thought. It's just the same thing, okay? It's just thought in pictures. So if you took a person who had zero resistance and you locked them in a room, if you took a person that had zero resistance, that person thought about what they wanted, zero resistance, locked them in a room, what they wanted will come to them.
Okay, so what causes resistance? Do you know what she means by that? Not having resistance? By letting go and believing that what you want is coming in without forcing, begging, pleading, pushing, trying, doubt. Yeah, Patricia, doubt. Yep. And Christine, yep, doubt. All of those, yep, those are right. Hold on. There we go. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, so you want to, and I talk to people in readings about this too, and it's easier said than done. It is. I'm not going to lie. It's definitely easier said than done, but when you're trying to manifest, a lot of it's with a person, you usually have to release the resistance. You have to let go. You have to just trust that you see what's in your future and that's what's going to come towards you without creating little roadblocks, speed bumps, two steps back. You know what I mean? Mama, I know I was, that's where I was going with it too. Yeah. Or no diggity. Easier said than done for sure. For sure. Right. It's like the space bar works sometimes to play it, sometimes it don't. There we go.
The universe will move people, circumstances, and events and bring that right to them. It absolutely must. Because if you have no resistance, you have unleashed a law that just cannot be stopped. And so you will manifest. It will come to you. Now, one of the things that I think so many of us have, and which is why I wanted to talk to you about thoughts being more powerful than action, is many of us have the world belief that we have to work hard and struggle to have money to get anywhere. And I'm not saying that you don't take any action, but what I am saying is your superpower is to think and see what you want before you act, because then your action will be effortless, absolutely effortless.
So again, knowing what you want, be clear on it, right?
Now, if you just think about it too, action, you can't move without a thought. You can't take any action without the thought that you're going to act. Like, for example, let's say that you wanted, no, let's try this. So let's, right now.
Jen, you visualized an oak tree and 6 months later, it was a small tree growing. It was live oak. That's funny. That is funny. It works. It does work. The problem, I think, with a lot of us too is like, and I do this, I'm guilty of this. I want something, so I'll try to manifest it, but then that self-doubt. The self-doubt kicks in and it's like, well, I don't know if I'll ever achieve that. I don't know if I'll ever get that. Is it really coming to me? Do I really believe I deserve that? I mean, a lot of us are hardwired from childhood. And I think I talked about this before too, with parents that are like, money doesn't grow on trees. Money's the root of all evil. So if you're trying to manifest success, wealth, business goals, things like that, you have to believe that money is good and you do deserve money. Not that money is evil and bills, and money comes in, money goes out, or I'm not making ends meet. Like, just those little things block you. They do. They block you. So create a relationship with money, or create a relationship with health, fitness, exercise. Create a relationship with all these things in a positive way. And if you ever catch yourself, so years ago, when my kids were younger, I'm a single mom, the kids would be like, Mom, can I? And I was always like, no, I don't have money for that right now. No, I don't have. And I'm like, if these kids would just stop asking me for stuff all the time, I wouldn't be blocking manifestation by saying no all the time. But who was it? Les Brown, I think. Les Brown, I'm pretty sure he's the one that said this, so I might be misquoting, but I think it was him, saying I'm just temporarily without funds. Meaning it's not a no. It's not a permanent thing. It's temporarily, So say things like that instead. Just for an example. All right.
I want you to act without a single thought. Can you do it? Can't do it. Can't.
Okay, I think I spoke over her. So she wanted you to think of or take an action without a thought. Like, can you do that? Can you have to think or take action?
Do it. No, wait. You've got to have a thought first. That's like the power of thoughts. So, I want to talk to you about The Secret. When we made the Secret documentary, because the Secret documentary reached hundreds of millions of people across the planet. Now, it's impossible for me and the Secret team to have got the movie personally into the hands of those hundreds of millions of people. And I want you to know what we did with The Secret, because this is a perfect example and may help you for manifestation in your life.
All right, I'm going to cut that one there. I do have a couple other videos, but we don't have to watch all of them. There's one more, I think. All right, so a couple things. My favorite book in the whole world is Power of Intention. This isn't a sales thing. I'm not endorsed, nothing like that. I'm just telling you from my experience. Same with what I'm showing you and everything. I have no ties to none of this. It was just recommended, suggested by me personally because I have read this and all of that. So, Power of Intention by Dr. Wayne Dyer. It's a game changer. It's a really good book. I think they even have videos, audiobook, things like that if you're not a big reader. One of his favorite quotes that I say a lot is, change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So again, with a positive mindset, looking at things in a positive way, getting up early in the morning instead of sleeping in, going to bed earlier instead of going to bed later. It changes a way that you look at things. I'm just using that as an example. It could be music. If you're listening to negative music, change the music, and then it'll change a perception. You know what I mean? So just with everything, change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. You can look at, you got a side gig, it paid you $1,000, you're super excited, and a bill came in for $900, and you're like, what the heck? Well, good thing you had that side job. You know what I mean? Maybe that came in for a reason to cover that expense. Maybe not get you ahead, but for a reason. You know what I mean? So look at that in a positive instead of a negative. The other book that I started reading, and I'm still in the middle of it, is this one, The Power of One More. Awesome book. Just got it. It's really good. Can't really put it down. But there was a quick video, if you guys want to watch one more little video. He's kind of like high energy, this guy.
I think most people think, Jay, everyone else is going to die.
That was part of it. The first book was The Power of Intention by Dr. Wayne Dyer. I'll put it in the chat. Come on. What the heck? Oh. There you go. I just put it in there. And then the other one is The Power of One. So the power of one is like the power of one more. The Power of One More. Ed. He's definitely high energy, not like the girl we just listened to. He's very like, woo, which is good. Sometimes you need that to get you pumped up, right? Watch motivational videos. I used to watch them all the time. Oh, I put but instead of by. Sorry, my bad. I'm a but. The power of one more. So like doing one more thing, taking one more step, going like the extra mile. People that become healthy and lose weight and find success in their career, they always do that one more, you know? So it goes with what she said with the visualizing and knowing what it is that you want and the action steps. This guy's like action steps plus one more, you know? It's pretty good. It's pretty good, the books. So let's, there we go. Look at his face. I cannot laugh. I got a little quote for you guys.
Think about what you think about.
I had to. Think about what you think about. You guys all know who said that, right? All right, let's hear what this guy has to say. I might fast forward for a second. I want to see.
I'll get around to being happy. I'll get around to my dreams. And then it's another day and another day. And they keep it in the distance. You only understand the power of one day when you're threatened with never having another one.
The best-selling author and host.
The #1 health and wellness podcast.
On Purpose with Jay Shetty.
This quote by Thomas Edison said, "When you feel you've exhausted all options, remember this, you haven't."
I love that.
That's the power of one more.
Power of one more.
And so I have lived this book in my life. Like I have lived this mindset, and it has changed my life because I've always been just one step away.
You're poor. Most people say, I'd like to be rich. Do you want to contribute or make no difference in the world? I want to contribute. Do you want beautiful memories or no memories? I want memories. So there's a vision. Our issue is depth perception. We think it's further away than it is. And because we think it's so far away, Jay, we create patterns and behaviors in our life that perpetually keep it there.
Ooh.
And that's what we do in our life. But what if that's the great lie of life? And what if the truth is that you're one relationship away, one meeting away, one conversation, one podcast, one interview, one new thought?
So I'm starting this podcast as the one more, my one more. Oh no, Kelly having a hard time finding me today. Is YouTube pulling shenanigans? Probably. It pulled some yesterday and Monday, so probably. That sucks. That's why I feel like there's not that many people on today. Notifications didn't go through. Oh, didn't go off. Did yours, Moon Mama? Did it notify you? Gotta love YouTube. It doesn't tell me. I don't know. That sucks. I'm sorry. Well, I'm glad you're here. Yours did? Okay. I have no idea. YouTube is making more changes and I can't keep up. So I try to just go with the flow. All right. Let's see what else he's got to say. I'm not going to play this too long. There's just a couple points that I wanted you guys to hear.
One new emotion, one new tactic or strategy away from completely changing the trajectory of your life. And everyone that you and I know that we both work with, that we're blessed to work with in our lives, the truth is it was one decision, one meeting, one extra rep, one more phone call, one thing they did that changed their trajectory. And then the question then becomes, how do I do it? Mm-hmm. And
so did you guys ever have, sorry, I got to stop it for a couple of reasons because I need to put input in, but I also, for copyright stuff, I have to break it up. If I just let it play, then I'll get hit with copyright. What the heck was I just going to say? Oh, do you ever notice, like, when you do something and you're like, man, I'm glad I made that decision to go. I'm glad I made that decision to answer the phone or give a business card or join a gym or whatever it may be. Those situations where you're like, wow, I'm really glad I chose to do that instead of just isolating or not doing it or being procrastinating or being lazy, you know? That's kind of what he was talking about. And it's like, there's just, oh no, Kelly, I know. I wasn't taking it as you blaming me at all. I lost my train of thought. All right, here we go.
The strategies are in the book, but conceptually, that's 100% how you change your life.
Yeah, and you're so right. I was thinking about this morning. Last year, I had a double hernia surgery on the front. Like, so I couldn't walk for about a month. And when I say I couldn't walk, I mean like I literally couldn't move.
Oh my gosh.
It was like I felt like I was teaching myself to walk again. Like that's how it felt. It's really interesting what you just said about how we perpetually push it far away. I would wake up every morning and my mind or my initial mindset was like, it will be gone today.
Yeah.
It must have gone today. Like today it will be fully healed. I'll be fine today. And I would wake up and I wouldn't be. And I would feel like healing was so far away.
Yes.
It would be like 80% away that I was missing out on the 1% change.
Moon Mama, 100%. This right here is what, I'll post her comment in a second. This is exactly what gave me knowledge of patience. I used to drive a lot for work. I was in real estate, so I'd be driving all over the place, and it was like, I'm late, hurry up, get out of my way, get out of my way, like things like that. And what you don't understand is the universe is actually protecting you from something that could have been bad. So I'm going to post her comment because things happen for a reason. Hold on. Is it, I feel like it's over. There we go. Duncan took forever for her order because if it was faster, you would have been in the middle of a horrific accident. So you got to trust, you got to have faith, you got to believe. You know what I mean? You got to have that knowing, which again helps release resistance by just knowing it's coming towards you because you're visualizing it. You know it belongs to you. It's yours. So with Moon Mama, good thing Dunkin' Donuts took forever. They always do, but good thing they did, So things happen. There's a bigger picture. That's what I said at the beginning of this video. I wish everyone could understand like the bigger picture to everything. Push yourself to believe. Yeah. Divine intervention. You're irritated and then relieved. Yeah. Yep. It helped me knowing that, learning that, gave me like more patience. Because whenever I'm in like traffic or someone's taking forever or something like that, I do stop and tell myself, this could be happening for a reason. So I need to just go with it and let it happen. Let it be the way it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? Let this person be slow. Let this person screw up my order. Let this person whatever. Instead of getting upset and mad. You notice things like that happening often. Yeah. Hi, Katie. All right. Oh. Whenever I click on comments, the space bar doesn't work to start playing. So now I gotta go to this screen and hit play. I'm new. It's my first day. I'll get it at some point, how to do all this.
Since yesterday.
You got it.
Since yesterday, I made 1% change. I wasn't feeling the same pain in my nerves. I was able to be flexible by 1% more.
Yes.
And I was missing out on all of that because I was so obsessed with how far I was.
That's the journey. And and what happens is when you live with an expectation that these one mores exist, the reticular activating system in your mind filters them into your awareness. I call it the matrix in the second chapter of the book. When you wake up believing, hey, I'm one decision away, I'm one meeting away, one relationship away, that's not hokey. Your mind begins to filter the people, places, and things into your awareness. You develop something called sensory acuity. You hear conversations you weren't hearing. We've all had that experience where we're on an airplane, I can't stop hearing these people over here. Or you walk in a loud room, but you can hear your own name auditorily over all the other names in the room. That's because it's important to you and it matters. You see things. And so when something becomes important to you and you believe it to be true, the RAS goes to proving it for you. And where I learned this, ironically, I talk about it in the book, is my father was an alcoholic and had tried to get sober many, many times. And I'll never forget it, Jay. We were driving to a baseball game of mine. My dad started crying. I'd never seen my dad cry before. And he pulls the car over and he still isn't looking at me, but he's crying and he says, Eddie. And then he turns to me and he goes, I'm going to try to get sober. And I'll never forget this, brother. He goes, one more time.
Wow.
And I said, really, Daddy? He goes, I'm going to give it one more try. And I said to him, I said, why would this be any different this time? And he said, never said this to me before. He goes, because I love you and you deserve a father you can be proud of. And you can't be proud of me right now. And I think every great thing we do in life is one away, but it's also born from love. To talk about your book, when you love people or you love something so deeply, if that love is greater than what the obstacles might be, now you got a shot to do it. Then my dad gets sober. He comes home from rehab. I say, Daddy, are you never going to drink again? And he said, I can't promise you that. I can promise you I'm not going to drink for one more day at a time.
Wow.
Powerful, huh? Powerful. Severe goosebumps. Yeah, he's good. He's when I started listening to it, that's actually why I bought the book. I was like, I gotta read this book. I gotta see what this is about. It's an easy read too. Power of Intention, the first one I mentioned, might be a little I don't want to say woo woo, but a little. This one is like real life stuff. He does quote like very rarely. He quotes some Bible stuff, but it's not like overwhelming. There like Gandhi, he quotes Mark Twain. So like he goes back with things, but brings it into today and how it works. But one of the parts he started saying, he didn't really go too much into it, but do you ever notice like when you want a new car, you see that car everywhere and you never saw that car before until like you were like, oh, I really want that car. And now you're like attracted to seeing it and you're like, I see it everywhere. That's part of manifesting. That's part of visualizing. It's kind of like signs. There's a car that I wanted and I'm like, I'm seeing it everywhere. Now I don't want it because I'm seeing it everywhere. Or, because I'm seeing it so much, I'm kind of like, it's played out. Is that really what I wanted? That could be like a divine intervention. You know what I mean? Is that really what you want? In the movie The Secret, they talk about, manifesting, how it's not instant. So they used for instance, somebody saying, I want an elephant. The universe isn't going to be like, boom, here's an elephant. And then you're going to be like, what the heck do I do with this elephant? I just said I wanted one. I didn't say like, I really wanted one, but here's an elephant. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's almost like the universe's way of testing you. Like, do you really want this? Do you really? That kind of a thing. So there's the reasons why everything happens. There's parts of manifestation that you'll recognize. All right, let's continue on for a few.
And he lasted the rest of his life stacking those one more days up. And so I know the power of one more. And Jay, the other thing, I also know humans can change. I watched my hero do it. I watched my dad live my first 15 years. Saw him in a lot of fights.
Wow.
A lot of lying, a lot of difficult times. And then I saw this man transform. And in life, we're most qualified to help the person we used to be. Mm-hmm. And what we think in life, and I hope everybody gets this, we think the things we're most ashamed of, embarrassed by, our divorce, our bankruptcy, or maybe we've just always been average and ordinary. This disqualifies me from being successful and happy. Mm-hmm. What if that's not true? What if the hardest things of your life are the very things that qualify you? I'll give you an example. My dad got sober. Somebody helped him. My dad was going to take his life or lose his family, and I didn't know who it was till months ago. Some precious human being whom I didn't know. In my dad's darkest hour of his life, Jay said, I'll help you. I'll help you. Little did that person know I'd be his son, and I'd help millions of people, and I'd be on Jay Shetty's show, and we both help millions of people. And the more ironic thing that this person helped my dad is what qualified them to help my dad. They were a drunk. They were an alcoholic. They at one time were a drug addict. They at one time were lying and stealing and living in the shadows. The very thing that person probably figured, that disqualifies me from having a successful life, was the one thing that did qualify them to help my dad. So if you're listening to this and you've had something you're ashamed of, or a failure or a setback, you're most qualified to help the people you used to be.
Yeah.
See, and I was saying that earlier with I can't do what I do if I didn't go through what I went through. And that could be applied to you, helping anybody. And there could be times where you help people and you don't even realize you help people. One word, one sentence that they overheard, like he was saying, like you overhear somebody talking, you're like attracted to what that person's saying. You could have been the one saying it and somebody else heard you and it changed their life, but you don't know. You know what I mean? We always are making impacts every day. And helping people in their manifestations without even realizing it. So, what was Debbie's question? Can you manifest reconciliation of a relationship with a specific person? I'm glad you brought that up, Debbie. I'm going to do another episode on that, just that. Probably next. I'll probably do that next. I'll give my little take on it, but then we can go in depth. You can, but, like 5 buts. You could be going against their free will. Like, I'm not saying you will, I'm just saying, for instance, someone could be begging somebody, please come back, please come back, please come back. Please, 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 these memories, sending pictures and sweet texts and luring them like kind of back in. against what they want, it could create another cycle, karmic cycle, another lesson, and you're back in that. But yes, you could, but it'll be a cycle. If this person comes to you on their own free will, then yeah, it's probably a fresh new start, new beginning, because it happened organically and in alignment. The other way isn't in alignment. There's, you can manifest a person, but it's like, and this is what I wanted to talk, so I don't want to go too deep into it because I already have it like lined up on how the next one's going to go, and it is about this topic. Qualities, traits, things like that, to bring you the person that aligns with those quality and traits, but it may not be the person, the specific person. So here's a for instance. I don't want someone who's going to hurt me. I don't want someone who has alcohol abuse or drug issues. I want, somebody who goes to work. I don't want somebody who doesn't know how to take care of kids or doesn't have a license or like all these like negative type things. That's what you attract. So do you ever notice like different different person, same cycle over and over again? A little bit different, but still kind of the same. I was stuck a few years ago in 6-week cycles. I kept manifesting different persons, same situation, and literally it was like 6 weeks that we dated, and then all of them cheated with their ex. So it was like that kept happening in 6-week increments and the same outcome. So it was weird. And until I said, you know what, I'm done. I need to pull my energy back. I don't even want to date right now. I'm just taking time for myself, and I'm healing and I'm releasing and everything. And I did, and it worked out. We got to do stuff like that. But to answer your question, yes, you can, but it may not be in a healthy way, if that makes sense. But stay tuned for the next episode. I think I'm going to do that one next, since we're on manifestation. Because I have like a video or two that I want to show and then talk a little more in depth about that. Does that make sense, what I said? Because I know I say it in my readings, like you can't manifest a specific person. Technically you can't, but you can. Like you can't unless it goes against their free will. If they want to be with you and you're manifesting them and they're manifesting you, then yes, it will be in alignment. It will work out. If you're begging them to come back and you get them back for a week or two or 6 months, but it's nothing changed. It's the same before you even broke up, before, you know what I'm saying? It's another cycle. So it is a complicated answer, but I hope that makes sense. They got to be manifesting you. It's got to be in alignment. Everything has to be in alignment. The vibration needs to be in alignment. You both have to be wanting the same thing, or else it's going to be a lesson. All right.
That person, that alcoholism they suffered with their drug addiction helped my dad live those 1 more days forever.
That is the best explanation I've heard of how pain turns into purpose.
That's right.
The thing that brought you down, that broke you down, that made you feel like you were losing everything.
That's right.
Gave you back everything when you used that to serve the people that were struggling with it.
And then there's a purpose. And, if you can survive the temporary pain in your life, and all pain is temporary. I watched my father pass away last year. He was in tremendous pain. Even our bodies are temporary. Only our souls are permanent. Mm-hmm. If you can survive the temporary, on the other side of temporary pain, you meet another version of yourself, another insight about yourself. And that's why it's so important to grow as a person, because the more we grow and become a new person, we can help those that used to be like us. And that's why you and I are so addicted to growing and learning, and we're curious, because if you used to be a broken person and you no longer are quite as broken, you can help broken people. Yeah. If you used to be broke financially and you no longer are, you can help people. Whatever you do for a living, at one time you didn't know about it, and now you do. You can help those who need to know about it. And so you're immensely qualified if you understand the power of doing one more.
See, you don't need to go to college and have a degree. You just need to have life experience to help people. Yes, Jen, be careful what you wish for. I think I titled videos this before, because you just might get it, So be careful what you wish for. Because because it may not be in alignment, it may not be exactly what you want, you know? And to go like with Debbie's question in reverse. So let's say you don't want to be with a person. I just want to go back to this. It could be reversed. You know what I mean? If you think about it this way, you're in a relationship, you break up, you don't want to be with this person, but they want to be with you. And they're trying to lure you back and beg for you back and come back. Look at everything we had. You're just going to throw it away. And you come back, but you're not going to be happy there. You know what I mean? There has to be a vibrational alignment and free will. You know? You guys like this video? If you're new here, welcome. Come on in, say hi, hit the like button for me if you haven't yet or on your way in. All right, a couple more minutes.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Tell me about, so let's say, and you probably come up against this all the time. Sure. A lot of the people say, okay, I'm going to practice that. I'm with you, Ed. I love you and Jay. I'm listening and I go, yes, I'm going to practice the power of one more. Now, what I find, and this is why you're so great at teaching this, because you're not teaching it as a gimmick, a glitch, or like a little affirmation. This is like real, it makes sense. Like it works. People get so tied to the result that when they try it the next day and the sales meeting doesn't go their way or the pitch doesn't go their way, they go, it doesn't work. Yeah. It doesn't work. Why didn't it work? And how should we respond when we fail or get rejected the next day?
Well, it didn't work because you're so attached to the outcome. I coach a lot of athletes. I know you do as well. And one of the things that's a really nuanced thing in life, it's great to have goals. You should have goals. I want to do this or that. But in the moment of execution, you have to separate from outcome in the moment that you're executing and just be present and exist. I talk about this in the book. Here's what I would say. If you're going to win long term, 95% of people have an operating system in their mind where they operate out of history and memory.
I like that.
And about 5% of humans operate out of vision and imagination.
So habits. A lot of people operate out of habits, what they're used to, instead of making changes and stepping out of their comfort zone and striving for change, and visualizing what they really want instead of where they're at for that change to happen. You guys like it? Moon Mama and Jen, interesting and awesome. It's quiet today. Oh well.
So the reason we're so much happier, I believe, when we're children is we have no history and memory. So we operate out of imagination and dreams and vision. But at some age, some people it's 5 years old, some it's 8, some it's 18, some it's 28. They create a history. And that history then becomes the operating system. So even if they take on a new behavior or tactic, they're operating out of a pattern of thought and belief that's historic and memory-based.
Like, money is the root of all evil. Money doesn't grow on trees. That's that program from childhood.
And so the number one thing I would say is begin to operate out of your imagination again, out of your vision again. Create from that place. If you create from that place, now you're not tied to the result in that moment. You're giving yourself space to imagine and create something new in your life.
That I've never heard that in that language, man. That is so powerful. You're so right about as kids how we don't have any memory or history, so we don't have any blocks, we don't have any limits.
Don't. And begin to listen to the people around you. People say, hey, you're the product of who you hang around. Wow. How do I know if they serve me or not? Here's one way to just deduce this, because they could be beautiful people who care about you, and they might even support you. But when you're with them, what are you ever have those friends you're with them, you're like, you remember when, you remember that party, remember that thing? Yeah. And if your friends are constantly bringing you to the filtration system of memory and history all the time, think this through. How often are those friends saying, hey, what are you working on now? Yeah. Where are you going? What's your vision? What do you want to create? And maybe that sounds hokey, but you and I have both our friends have the most amazing histories, and you can't get them to talk about them. No. You have to work, because what are they still doing? Yeah. They're talking about now and where they're going. Yeah. Their viewpoint in their life is being present and having a vision for the future. Yeah. A formula for misery, a formula for lack of creativity, lack of productivity is constantly being history and memory. Yeah.
So one thing I actually wrote in my notes, and I didn't get to talk about it, is the codependency thing. That's kind of what I was talking about, what he's saying. So if you go to work, right, or go hang out with friends, go somewhere social, where there's other people, and all you do is talk about your past, your hurt, your pains, your trauma, your drama, like all of that, instead of positive things and things that you're going to change and things that are empowering and motivational, and I'm going to do this and I'm going to keep putting that out into the universe instead of past things constantly being talked about. You know what I mean? And I know, like, some places where you work, people are like that. It's like an energy vampire. It really is. So try not to, because that's where, like, codependency comes in, because it's like, oh, I can't wait to go to work so I can tell them how my night went with this idiot last night. And you know what I mean? It's like, it's just putting you deeper and deeper and deeper into a negative hole of more and more and more and more of that, instead of going the opposite direction. So try to change what you talk about, what you think about, what you talk about, what's coming out of your mouth, you know? And the codependency, again, what I was getting at is like leaning on your coworkers, leaning on your friends, leaning on this idea, leaning on, you're codependent on it instead of independent from it, you know, and be independent from that and be more codependent on what you want. All right. There's a couple different terms with the codependency, but there's a book I also want to talk about. Not that I want to keep bringing up books, but they're just educational. Codependent No More by Angela Beattie. People think codependent, drugs, alcohol, codependency, but it's also relationships. It's also, it could be money, it could be finances, it could be kids, it could be borrowing from family, it could be, or leaning on family all the time. It's the codependency, attachment, you know. Not saying you have that. I'm saying other people could be doing this to you. You could go to work and someone could be talking about how miserable they are and how unhappy they are, and then you talk to them and you feed off of it with them, and it brings you into this rabbit hole, you know. So try not to get caught up into that. And it's almost like enabling, right? Enabling your coworker or your friend to continue to be their ear and not speak up and say, hey, why don't we go to the gym? Why don't we go exercise? Why don't we go for a walk? Why don't we meet up once a week and do yoga, or, I don't know, play cards or whatever, something, you know, in a more positive thing. You're taking notes. Oh, Kelly. Well, I mean, you can always go back and watch it. It's going to be on YouTube. So if you need to, you can go back to it. All right. I'll give it like one more minute. I want to see if he finishes up this.
Even if it's good, it doesn't serve us. And for most of us, it's not good. And we keep living from it or trying to move away from it. Create a new future. Don't move away from the past. Create a brilliant, imaginative, curious, vibrant vision for your life.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, we're always trying to create the same past.
Yes.
As opposed to a new future.
A new future.
So I say this in readings too. Sorry, I don't mean to keep stopping it, but trauma does this. 100% trauma. What a lot of us do, which is part of our manifesting too, is we recreate certain situations that didn't work out. We recreate them to see if we can change the outcome. So if it's a relationship, even if it's not the same person, it could be a different person that you manifested, but same qualities, traits, mannerisms, things like that. We manifest that to create another cycle, different person, to see if we can change the outcome. So if you're like an empath, you keep attracting narcissists, or you keep attracting damaged people, or just people that need help because you want to help them. You can change them. I can change them. You can't change anybody unless they want to change themselves. Then you can be their support system, but you cannot change anybody. So having that happen, you're not actually creating a different outcome. You're creating the same outcome where you're left empty, drained, heartbroken, hurt, broke, lack of everything, right? So stop it. What he just said, like, leave those things behind, start new, start fresh. And that usually comes from healing, clearing your head, sitting in silence, manifesting, or meditating, walks, whatever, clearing all that clutter out of your head, releasing that. takes time though. It's not this, all of this isn't a snap of the finger over the night thing. This all takes work. It all takes time. But it's worth it in the end. It is. Yes, please hit that like button.
Sure.
And I find that what's really interesting about that, all the studies show that nostalgia makes us believe that the past was more phenomenal than it actually was. If you remember that party you went to at college, it's better in your memory than it actually was. If you actually could have gone back and remembered how you felt hungover and what you broke a bone or whatever happened, but now in your memory it's beautiful.
Beautiful.
Right? So our memory also is slightly warped of the past.
No question.
It can make things feel much better or much worse sometimes.
No question.
But what's really coming out for me right now is this idea that it's something you said a couple of moments ago, and it sparked a thought for me. I remember the story that Vanessa Bryant told about Kobe Bryant after he passed away. I was fortunate enough to interview him about 3 months before his tragic passing. And she told this story, and she said that Kobe would play through every injury. He would play through every pain. He would play through everything, even when the doctors and his coaches would say, stop playing. And she asked him, she said once, why he still plays, right? Again, going back to our curiosity, not assuming you know your partner. She asked him, why do you still play? And this is just her and him. There's no cameras. She's telling this story, but at the time it was just them two. He said it's because there's someone who's paid for a ticket today. They saved up. And this is the only time they're ever going to be able to come. Maybe maybe a dad's brought his kid. Maybe someone's come to the game. They're a lifelong fan, and they came today. And today's the only day they're going to get to see me. And if I say I'm injured, they won't get to see me. So I'm going to play so that that
one person
gets to see me play, and then he goes and wins.
Yes.
All right. So if you guys want to watch more of that on your own time, it is Ed Milet on. So let me do this real quick. I think you can right here. Ooh, right here at the bottom. Damn it. Let me move me. I can't move me. It's can I move this? I'm new. There we go. Can you see it? Ed Milet on. Watch these 37 minutes to completely change your life by Jay Shetty with Jay Shetty. So you can watch that. It's on YouTube if you want to continue watching it. But he brings up a lot of good points. The book is really good. I'm every time I read it, I feel like motivated after I read a chapter or 2 chapters or whatever time allows. Okay, so Moon Mama, yep. Yep. The past is always better in your memories, right? I know it is for me. For some things I'm like, ugh, never again. But for other things, yeah. Even just like a night out, celebrating a birthday or going somewhere with friends, and oh, it was the time of my life, even though I blacked out and I don't remember it. You know, I know I had fun in there somewhere. You know what I mean? It's like the memory of it, and it happens in relationships. It happens with family and friends and things like that. You get to a point where it's like the anger, the hurt, the pain fades, and the memories, it's all you have. So the memories most of the time are the good ones that you think about. So to go back to Debbie's question too, with the manifesting somebody from your past back, you have all those good memories, they come back, and it's like, this is why it didn't work out, because I forgot about the bad memories. I forgot about this, you know, or maybe I remembered it, but I ignored it because the good memories overrode it or overpowered it. So yeah. It is a drug. Yeah, nostalgia is a drug sometimes. Yep. To avoid learning lessons of the past and then trying to recreate them all over again. Yep. So what do you guys think? Do you guys have questions on this? Just one thing I want to go back over. Thoughts and actions. It's a pair. It's a team effort. Thoughts and actions. You can't just think about it and not do anything to get there. So I always say, you can't win the lottery if you don't play. It's kind of the same concept. You can't manifest love if you don't go on dates. You can't manifest love if you don't put yourself out there. You can't manifest these things if you don't do some kind of action step. So yeah, sitting there and meditating or going for a walk or visualizing or making a list and all that, that's all good, which is action steps. It's a start, right? It's something, but to propel you forward, you have to actually put energy and effort into it. So getting that new job, you can't get a new job by just visualizing it. You have to apply, you have to look, you have to search. By chance, you may have somebody approach you with an offer by chance, which is in alignment, so definitely need to take action steps. And again, don't get overwhelmed. I feel like that's the biggest part is where do I start? What do I do? I don't even know. I mean, it happens to me on the daily. I feel overwhelmed all the time. And it's I don't even feel like doing anything because I don't even know where to start. So with this, it's just step 1, what do you want? Step 2, how do you talk to yourself? Change that all up. Positive self-talk, knowing what you want. If you're okay, well, I want love, I want a new career, I want a new house, I want a new car, I want, children, or I want to put my kids through college, or I want to move, I want to relocate, whatever it is. If you have 10 things that you're trying to manifest, start with 1. What do you want the most right now, and what makes sense? Do you want to move, or do you want a car right now to get you there? You know what I mean? So start with the 1 and try it for a month. Say that 1 word, make that list. So again, health, right? Or happiness. What will make you happy? Having a better friends group. By the way, when you grow and you release and you change, you do end up releasing old family, friends that aren't in alignment. So be prepared for that too. When manifestations come to play, you have to release some things. People, places, or things. So just be aware of that. Keep that in mind. Let me move this over. Because if you're growing, if you're vibrating at a higher vibe, it's not going to be in alignment. You're going to have people that are watching you come out of this cocoon, this stuck energy, and flourish. And there could be envy, jealousy, all of that could come along with it. Your true friends will stick by you. Your true family will stick by you. I mean, I still get it doing what I do because it goes against religious beliefs, or it goes against people, I don't know, envy, jealousy, whatever. I still get it. I still get put down. I still get that kind of stuff. And it's I don't even care anymore because I'm confident with where I'm at, So at the end of the day, you put yourself into alignment. Hey, jealousy. Yep. So anyway, back on track. So what do you want? Focus on one word. For me, it's success, right? Success. What does that entail? It entails a whole list of stuff. Little action steps, or what do I picture as success? I picture my channel being huge. I have numbers, but I'm not going to shout them out. Be specific. I'm just going to use an example. 5 million subscribers, which is humongous. But so all these thoughts, so 5 million subscribers, making X amount every month, helping X amount of people every month, making X amount of videos every month, it's that list that goes with that one word. So when I say that word and I put that out into the universe and I visualize all those things coming together, the universe knows. They see your thoughts. They hear your thoughts, they see your thoughts, your visualizations. That's why it's important to do that. So it simplifies it, I feel like, instead of saying, thank you, universe, for giving me $5 million. I already have it. It's in my bank account. Thank you so much for overflowing my pockets so I can flow it onto others and help others. It's easier to just say that way. It simplifies it, I feel like, with one word. Success, wealth, health, happiness. But then the visualizing comes into play with that. And then once that, actions. Where are you going to start? What are you going to do first? What step are you going to take? So it's kind of the way of it. There is a lot to say. I'm just going to say this about the power of silence. Back to like meditation or just sitting in a comfy chair, staring at a wall. There's a lot to be said about that. I did it the other day and I was like, wow, this I had clarity. I had ideas coming through. I had it just, because you're busy all the time and you hear the chatter of everybody else and the noise of everybody else and everybody else's thoughts and feelings and emotions, and it's just always so much, right? Day to day, normal life, driving, frustration, bad drivers, bills, like everything. It was nice to just sit with no distractions, no noise, no interruptions, nobody around, nobody else's energy. It was refreshing. It helped me. I shut off a lot that was in my aura, and it gave me clarity. It helped. You don't have to meditate, although practicing meditation is also a big game changer. I preach it, which I kind of fell off the wagon with it, which is why I think the other day was so like, I got to get back on it, because it felt great afterwards. And it was a couple hours. Like, it wasn't just a small little amount of time. I actually was lucky enough to get a couple hours to myself. That doesn't happen often at all. So it was nice. So make time for yourself, because that'll give you the clarity. That'll give you the ability to really see what it is that you want and reassess things. And what do you need to let go of? What doesn't suit your highest and best good? What can you do now to be the best version of you, and kind of release some of the old version of you to grow, to change, I hope all that makes sense. I hope all that makes sense. I seem to answer all the questions you didn't know you had. Obviously guided here today. Well, I'm glad you were able to join us, Kelly. Thanks for being here. No, Jen, you have to be in alignment with each other. Is that where we were talking about? You have to be in alignment. To manifest, you do. You have to be, you can't be a bummer. I don't mean this against, I was going to say Debbie Downer, but I don't mean that against any Debbies out there. It was just because it rhymes, or goes together, whatever. Negative Nancy, Debbie Downer. You can't be in a negative mindset and expect good stuff to come in. By chance, by luck, possibly once in a blue moon, that may happen to a lucky person. But it's not typical. You don't hear those stories all the time where, I was down in the dumps and I'm miserable, but $1 million, I found it on the sidewalk. Like, you just don't hear those stories. You got to be you got to vibrate into alignment with what it is that you want. And I'm learning this because I've been kind of in a negative mindset lately. You were joking. Yep, power of positive thinking. PPT. Power of positive thinking. A lot to be said for it. So I hope I helped. I hope I gave you some clarity with this podcast, episode 1.